welcome to Cap House again. I want to talk to you about this stick. Pretty simple, but the stick has got many functions. So we call it a yardstick, so that equates to 36 inch or 0.914 of a metre. Now if you can see very closely on this stick, we've got cutouts a foot from the end, we've got another cutout a foot from that piece, and then this last foot is separated into 12 1-inch pieces. So we can actually use this stick for measuring underground. A couple of reasons why we need to do that. In the olden days, when tape measures weren't available, but we could readily get hold of sticks, you could measure the amount of coal cut or generated, and people were paid on yards or stints. So if your stint was 4 yard, you would be expected to hand get 4 lengths of stick before you got paid. So first of all, we use it as a payment, and of course we can measure in feet and inches anyway. The other important feature about this stick is it's actually 0.9 metres long, and when we look at underground for setting off temporary supports, so we're in a supported roadway here, but if we decided in this roadway that we need to put additional supports up, and that would be probably a 10 to 12 inch diameter wooden prop, we'd set it into the middle of the tunnel, and the distance where we have to put one prop to the next is 0.9 metres. So if we put this stick between 2 wooden props and there was a gap, that meant that we weren't complying with the rules or regulations. So you always made sure that the wooden props came within the confines of the end of the stick. We knew we were within 0.9, we knew we were good at that. So that's a couple of things in terms of measuring. We can sort of test the nature of the ground above us with this stick. So if I was just to use this stick on this steelwork, that's obviously solid. That tells us that the roof is compact. That's solid. But if we went to an area and it started getting hollow, that could tell us that there could be signs of the space behind these supports starting to crumble away, the building up of a cavity, and that could lead into potential builds up of gas. So it's very important we can see the structure of the mine, and we know what's happening at the back. Talking about gas, we can actually use this stick to assist us with testing for gas. So some of the elements what I've got is, I've got an Altair, that's an automatic gas detector. But if I wanted to test for gas using my miner's lamp or my Davy lamp, and I can use this lamp to reach certain areas, but when I wanted to get into higher cavities, I can put the lamp into the top of the stick, I can lift that lamp up as far as my arm and the stick goes, so I would be able to observe that flame, and that would tell me whether we were starting to get any build-up of methane. So that's one way we can use for testing for gas. And then this is an aspirator bulb. If there was an area up there which I didn't want to put my oil lamp into, what I can actually do is get a sample of gas inside this bulb and then inject it into the oil lamp. So it's the same as the oil lamp going into an area where there's gas. So it's a bulb, it's got a clip on it, and simply by deflating it, letting that clip come back down, that stops deflated. I put my stick into the clip, I lift it up into the gas, so I'm safe, there's only the bulb in the gas, and by me pulling on that string, that allows the bulb to inflate. That bulb now is full of gas, so I've got a percentage of gas. I take my bulb off, put it into the side of the oil lamp, and then I deflate the bulb. That gas goes over the flame, that tells me how much gas there is in the cavity. So that stick helps me for testing for gas as well. If I was walking underground or working underground and I saw someone coming with the stick, it would mean that it's a part of their stature, it's a part of their duties. So normally the only person carrying the stick would be the deputy, who's a supervisor and is in charge of people's safety and a number of men, or an overman, under manager, or a manager. So you can generally tell the work people because obviously they're doing the grafting, but if someone walks down with a stick, that is telling us as well he is a supervisor. So it's sort of like, if you like, a bit of a warning that a boss is coming. The other thing it can help me with is if I'm walking underground and I come into contact someone who's touching a live conductor who potentially is suffering from electric shock. As we all know, we can't use conductors to separate the person from the electricity, but because this is a wooden stick, I could use that for that. So if I came across a person and he was touching a live conductor, I could use this to break the line and potentially save someone's life. So it's important for that. If I'm wanting to excavate a tunnel and we haven't any of the machines like I have behind me, one of the methods is to drill holes and then put dynamite in and then blast the dynamite off. Now, that's the detonator with the wires, and this is shot firing powder with the detonator inserted and the wires coming out. So once I've drilled my hole into the side ready to put the dynamite in, I would put the dynamite in, and the wires need to be exposed to the mouth, to the entrance to the hole, to be able to connect it to a shot firing battery. If I used a metal stick while I was pushing these in, there is more potential to expose bare wires within within the detonator, and I don't want that. So when I put them in and push them to the back of the hole, what I need to do then is to put a stem in, or pretty much like plasticine, into the entrance to the hole, and then I need to push it in tight so that the shot fire can't come out, the explosion can't come out. Potentially, if this was a metal stick and I was bearing the wires on the detonator and I came into another metal object, potentially there's an electrical field or electrical circuit there which could set the dynamite off. By using that wooden stick, because it's a non-conductor, that makes sure that when I put the detonator in, or the dynamite, or when I'm stemming the hole up, that wooden stick prevents that dynamite going off unexpectedly.